Hello everyone, what is up and welcome back to the channel iRumors. So for the past week, I ditched my main computer, the M1 Macbook Pro, to the 11-inch mid-2012 MacBook Air. Yup, you heard it right. I totally refrained from using my MacBook as much as possible unless I really needed to. Other than that, all the time I was using this mid-2012 11-inch MacBook. Today, I'm going to be talking about my experience in using this 12-year-old computer in 2024. How has it performed for my daily tasks and how is it on a regular basis? And in the end, we're going to be concluding whether you can use this as your main computer in 2024 or this is just another relic of the past. So without further ado, let's get started right into the, you can't say it's a review, so right into my thoughts and my experience on using this MacBook for the past week. Right off the bat, the first two things that are a major difference is the size and the screen. Well, I'm not just talking about the 11-inch size of this MacBook, I'm also talking about the screen condition in which my MacBook is. So let's just take a look at it right now. I've got the MacBook here, and right away, for those of you who have seen the review, you all know, but for those of you who are just new to this video, let me just reduce the brightness. And here you can see the condition of the screen. The screen is delaminated, it has a lot of layers that are peeling off, and that definitely shows up in the screen quality. You may not really be able to see it when it's on the wallpaper, and I think we can see it more clearly. Well, this might not really be a problem and just see it right like that, but when you use it on a regular basis, like on a week or so, the screen quality definitely takes a hit. I don't really want to say too many negative stuff about this laptop because we already know that this is a 12-year-old laptop and there are some difficulties that we will be facing on this laptop, such as lower processing speed. We all know that. But the main idea of today's video is I want to take time and appreciate this laptop for what it is. It's a small form factor and I want to see how this small form factor actually works on a day-to-day basis. And that is what I did in this 1 week of me using this laptop. And that's what I want to share. That's why I took a short while to address all the negative stuff in the laptop first, because we already know it. So just address it out of the way. Now let's talk just about the laptop, putting aside everything else. I think if I put my laptop like this, you can see that it's actually kind of pivoting to the top, and that is due to the removal of the battery. Just want to let that know before we continue on with this. And yeah, the laptop is just quickly restarting, and when it's restarting, you can see that the screen is quite bad. So I'm just going to try my best to show what I can. So let's quickly wait for this to load up. And like I said, I want to talk about this selection of the port, because the port was one of the most useful things in this laptop that I had. As you can see here in my M1 MacBook, I got to use this OTG USB-A to USB-C converter in order for me to plug my thumb drive in. But I really love the selection of ports on this 11-inch MacBook Air. Even though it's a small laptop, we've got the usual MagSafe charger, let's forget about that. We've got one USB-A followed by a headphone jack, and inside we've got a USB-A adapter. So I can always plug in my thumb drive maybe at the right side of the MacBook, and I can definitely plug in another cable or another adapter at the side, and I can transfer data over seamlessly. You know, it's not always where you get to plug in all these drives, especially in 2024, it's not there. Just plug in the old thumb drive and old adapters without a conversion adapter. So that really makes work on the go really easy. I can transfer data over easily without any hassle. And the handy thing about this laptop is I can definitely just put it on. I need to be careful about the MagSafe cable because once it's unplugged, the whole laptop is going to turn off. When you put such a small laptop, it's just quite nice, especially when you want to type something. It's really good, and that's what I use this laptop for most of the time. Most of the time I just use it for typing, getting some work done. And as I continue using this laptop more often, I started realizing that this MacBook can actually be an official iPad replacement. We all have talked about how iPads are being a MacBook replacement, but when you take a look at the 11-inch form factor of this laptop, I feel like this can definitely be an iPad replacement. And let's say you want to put this 11-inch MacBook Air for the same price, I'm pretty sure a lot of people are going to be buying the 11-inch MacBook Air over the iPads. And I guess that is one of the main reasons why Apple killed this. Since this MacBook does not have a battery, I always have to keep it plugged in onto power. You all would have known already, it's always plugged into power when I'm using. I didn't bring this MacBook out anywhere use, so it was basically just like a desktop computer. I just used it all the way down here. I haven't used this to watch some movies, and so all I used it mostly was for web browsing. And sometimes throughout the day, I might be using it for about 3-4 hours straight, and that is when it brings me to the topic of the thermals. How is this laptop performing in terms of thermals? I didn't use this laptop for gaming, or let's say I want to use for any benchmarks or testing. I didn't use for any of that. I use for regular basic tasks. And is that immune to thermal throttling? Well, no, it isn't. But did I manage to overcome the thermal throttling? Yes, I did. And that is by changing the thermal paste on the laptop. A pretty basic and easy step. Midweek, I realized that this laptop is really thermal throttling a lot. I did try putting it on a cooling pad and I tried using it on, but then it struck me that the thermal paste should have already been crusty, because ever since I got this laptop, well, I did take out the battery, I did give it a quick clean, but I didn't like change the thermal paste. I went ahead and changed the thermal paste. So once the thermal paste was changed, I really saw a significant improvement. I wouldn't say it's a totally drastic improvement, but I did definitely see a significant improvement. It didn't thermal throttle much, I would say. I was able to watch YouTube videos at 720p, 1080p max. Maybe it would fluctuate between 720p and 1080p, but it was much better after I put the thermal paste. Sorry that I got carried away midway talking about how this laptop can really be a good replacement. I just had to put my thoughts into it. That's actually been it for this video. Coming back to the part that I got carried away, the exact same form factor. It doesn't have to be this old boxy design or anything. They can just bring back this exact old form factor with the exact selection of ports. Maybe you can keep one of the USB-A and the bezels. We can just shrink it and bring it back to the notch area, and we can just leave this entire keyboard just like it is. Of course, mine is a Japanese version, but we can just keep it to US English. We can even use the M2 base chip, and I think this will definitely be an iPad killer. You would have seen that the keyboard is not the US English like we usually have. So when I was using this throughout the week, the keyboard did take me quite some time to get navigated through. I kept pressing the wrong buttons, but even now you can see that I'm slowly trying to learn the keyboard. So slowly, eventually I'll try to figure it out. I'm still trying to use this together with my M1 MacBook Pro. So that's actually been it for my 1 week usage of replacing my M1 MacBook Pro with the 11-inch 2012 MacBook Air. In the end, we all know the answer. This laptop cannot be a replacement to your regular working machine, but if you're using just for some web browsing, and if you want to just use it as a stay-home computer, you're just gonna put it at home, just use it for some light web browsing. Maybe your home computer spoiled and you just want to get a computer for your home. I think this is a good option. You can find it for really good deals. Maybe you can get it with the screen off, and then maybe you can just plug it into an external computer and you can just use it as a headless MacBook. That's another idea, and if you're having this and if the screen is spoiled also, you can still try this idea out. So there are multiple use cases, that there are a lot of DIY options for this laptop, but getting it and using it now in 2024, I think I wouldn't really recommend it unless you're really having it or someone is sending over to you for free. Then yeah, that you might use it. But other than that, I think I would be definitely better off with my newer MacBooks. Probably a 2014 MacBook Air, or probably even the 12-inch MacBook Air, I think would be a better option compared to this. So that's actually been it for this video. If you like what I do, click the like button, get subscribed, turn on notifications so you get notified whenever I post a video. With that, thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch all of you in the next one. Bye bye.